Greetings, Benjamin J. from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, you know my mantra, don't overlook the junk. I was on eBay 5 days ago, something like that. Found a Marx Prewar 999 in less than perfect condition and made one bid on it and won $10. So anyway, it just got here. It's cold here today. Came in here this morning, it was 50 degrees in the train room, so I got a little heater running in here. In any case, excuse me, as I always stress, don't overlook the junk. I bought this thing just to get the wheels off of it. It has spoked wheels, so the wheels on it by itself from Grossman's will cost you about $35. I got the entire locomotive for $10, and the guy had it advertised as 1950s. It's actually 1930s. This is pre-war. And it's full of styrofoam. My nemesis. Hold on a minute, I gotta find something to put this in. Oh my. Fortunately, I've got a mountain of boxes here. Anyway, $10, I couldn't pass it up. It's got a dent in the cab on the rear. But again, this thing is going on 100 years old. All right, get this out of the way. All right, let's see what we have here. Now, I really doubt this thing is going to run. It is in rough condition. It's been sitting unused for very likely as long as I've been alive. This is an old locomotive, but it is complete. Front truck, rear truck, pre-war, both the contactors are intact. It turns. This thing has not been turned in, I'll bet you, 50 years. It is absolutely covered in oxide. So I doubt it's going to run, but this is the fun part. Let me oil this and I'll pull the camera off the tripod. So it has the pad on the brush plate for the armature bearing. So we'll saturate that pad. Now this thing has not been moved in decades. It is really, really stiff. All right, a big drop of oil on the bearing on the output shaft of the armature itself. Oh, that really helped. Okay, as you see, front truck, rear truck. Let me just set this on the rail and pull the camera off the tripod. All right, so here is a pre-war Marx 999. As you can see, it has a lot of rust. It's dented right there. That only takes a minute to fix with a pair of parallel jaw pliers. As you see, almost no rust at all on the push rods themselves. But you can see this thing is just covered in oxide. This motor has not run in decades. So I doubt if it's going to run at all. Let's see. It's been oiled. Let's put it on the rail and see what happens. So in any case, a Marx pre-war 999, $10 on eBay, and I was the only bidder. All right, power is on. Let's see what happens. Absolutely nothing. Up. Let's try. Let's see if this will make a difference. Focus the camera. So using the edge of a razor blade, I just make diagonal scratches across the contactor. Very likely it's the brushes rather than the contactor itself, but as you can see, this thing's just covered in oxide. But this gets down to bare copper really quickly, as you see. All right, let's see if that made a difference. Get everything on the rail. And look at this. Usually if you can get it to run, it'll take off. Huh. Almost. Anyway, very likely the brushes are covered in oxide. So, as you see, it's going to run. There's no doubt about that. Anyway, again, I bought it for the wheels. These spoked wheels are expensive, and they're hard to find. From Grossman's, I think they're $8 each, $7.50, something like that. Adds up really quick. This way, you can get all the parts you need, in this case, for $10. And as you see, this isn't in terrible condition. It's old. This thing's 85 years old, something like that. So get this straightened out, clean up the paint, oil it, get the motor lubed, and I would imagine this thing's going to take off running probably really quickly. See, it wants to run, it's just not getting enough contact. E-unit's working. Let's try one quick trick here. Getting this thing moving gets all the oxide off the armature, gets the brushes broken loose, gets some of that oil that I put on it down into all the moving parts. As you see, so was that worth $10? Prewar 999, up and running, forward and reverse. Like I said, usually if you get these things running, they'll come to life. Wow. Let's see if it'll pull a consist. Now, this is the fun part. When you can find a running locomotive absolutely dirt cheap, and no one else wanted it because it looked bad. Let's see what happens. Look at this. Wow, it's really slipping. I think the coupler is bent. That's why it's not getting any traction. Well, as you see, it was definitely worth the $10. Now remember, I bought this just to get the wheels off of it. I had no idea if it was going to run. I doubted it was going to. But as you see, it is up and running. So it needs to be lubed and tuned and cleaned. But as I always stress, don't overlook the junk. This is a Marx Prewar 999, $10 on eBay. And I was the only bidder. Really difficult to beat that. If you used it only for parts, it's worth what I paid for. As you see, a bit of elbow grease. It's going to be a really decent looking and running Marx 999. Only takes a minute to touch up this paint, oil it, get this dent removed, lube the motor, get it clean, clean the wheels, and you have A new Marx 999, absolutely dirt cheap. 10 bucks, and I was the only bidder. Really difficult to beat that. So, as I always stress, don't overlook the junk. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.